Why Jean Stapleton didn't go to the funeral for Carroll O'Connor. Her name was Jean Murray, and she was born in Manhattan, New York City, on January 19, 1923. Her family liked the arts and stories when she was growing up. Her mom, Marie Stapleton Murray, was a skilled opera singer, and her dad, Joseph Murray, sold ads for a living. Jean's early exposure to her mother's musical skills, and the fact that her family encouraged her imagination had a big impact on her lifelong love of performing. Her rise to fame didn't happen quickly, but her drive, quiet strength and natural ability to play regular people made her one of the most respected and admired people on TV. Stapleton's playing career started out small in the lively theater scene in New York. She started getting better at her craft on stage after studying at Hunter College and then acting in summer stock shows. She did this by appearing in regional plays that let her try out both comedy and drama. The 1940s and 1950s were important years for Gan because they were when she worked hard to improve her timing and emotional depth in off-Broadway and Broadway shows. In her early stage parts, she was in well-known shows like Damn Yankees, Bells Are Ringing, and Funny Girl. Her ability to combine humor and heart quickly made her known as a reliable and very talented actress. Not only did her stage work show how skilled she was, but it also showed how caring she was. She had an amazing talent for making people laugh and cry at the same time. This rare talent would later define her work on TV. She became best known in the 1970s when she was cast as Edith Bunker on the groundbreaking CBS show All in the Family. The show, which was created by Norman Lear, dealt with social and political topics that were often seen as inappropriate for TV at the time. Carroll O'Connor played the outspoken Archie Bunker's sweet, kind, and sometimes naive wife, Edith. Stapleton became a societal icon as Edith. She gave Edith a soft, nuanced performance that was a mix of innocence, kindness, and moral strength. She made a character that could have been a simple comic sidekick into a complex figure who stood for kindness and understanding in a world full of anger and prejudice. Stapleton won 3 Emmys and 2 Golden Globes for her work on All in the Family, but what she really got was the love of millions of fans. People felt better around Edith because she was kind and smart, and they often saw their own moms, grandmothers, or neighbors in her. Jean made a figure that went beyond TV with her gentle manners, musical laugh, and unwavering belief in kindness. A lot of fans have said that Edith Bunker was more than just a part. Her presence was a lesson that people are good, even when things are hard. It was one of the saddest times in TV history when Edith was written out of the spin-off show Archie Bunker's Place after Stapleton quit the part. Both on screen and in the hearts of her fans, her loss was felt deeply. After leaving All in the Family, Stapleton kept acting in movies, TV shows and plays, always looking for parts that pushed her and spoke to the truth of people. Her flexibility and charm were shown in movies like Clute, 1971, Something Wild, 1986, and You've Got Mail, 1998. She played Eleanor Roosevelt on stage in the one-woman show Eleanor, Her Secret Trip. This show showed how dramatic she could be and how much she respects strong women. Jean never lost her interest in stories or her drive to tell them. Even as she got older, she thought that acting wasn't about getting famous, but about honest acting that touched people's hearts. Jean Stapleton's marriage to William H. Push was one of the most important and stable relationships in her personal and work life. Their wedding took place in 1957, while Jean was still making her career as an actress on stage and TV. At the time, she was working in New York theater, starring in shows on and off Broadway. At the same time, William Push was already well known as a respected director and producer. Their marriage was not only a union of love, but also an artistic partnership between two people who knew how hard it was to make a living as an artist. Totem Pole Playhouse is a summer theater in Fayetteville, Pennsylvania. William H. Push started it and ran it. This local theater became an important part of their lives. It was both a place for them to work and a place for the family to spend the summer. During her breaks from acting in movies and TV shows, Jean Stapleton often performed there. Together, they made the Playhouse one of the most recognized regional theaters in the U.S. Both of them respected the skills of the other person while they worked together. Behind the scenes, William ran shows with a steady and visionary hand, and Jean brought characters to life with performances that were warm, smart, and deeply human. Throughout their marriage, The pair dealt with the difficulties of working in a tough field by focusing on their strong family ties and common goals. They raised 2 kids together, John Push and Pamela Push. Both of them went on to work in show business because they were moved by how hard-working and creative their parents were. The family was known for being very close. They spent a lot of time together at Totem Pole Playhouse in the summers, where everyone in the theater community became like family. People who worked with the couple often talked about how they created a happy, collaborative space where people could work hard, laugh, and really respect each other's art. John and William's marriage was marked by deep love and respect for each other that lasted until William's sudden death in 1983. He had been John's partner in life and work for more than 25 years, so his death was a terrible loss. During conversations, Stapleton talked a lot about how much she loved spending time with him and how creative they were together. After he died, she kept supporting the Totem Pole stage, which helped keep her husband's memory alive and the theater they had built together alive. Her participation kept his memory alive and showed how much she loved and cherished the man who had been her husband, partner, and best friend. As Jean Stapleton's fame grew from her part as Edith Bunker on All in the Family, her relationship with William kept her grounded. He wasn't just her husband, he was also a guiding light who told her to stay true to her art and take chances. Their marriage showed how 2 talented people could do well together by balancing personal love with working together on art. She found security and love with William Het Puch, which gave her the emotional support that let her bring such warmth, compassion, and honesty to her performances. When William died in 1983, Jean was very sad, but she also did everything she could to honor him. She kept acting for a long time, and the parts she chose often reflected how deep and sensitive she was, traits that had grown stronger as they went through life together. Friends of the couple often said that Jean never stopped lovingly and adoringly talking about William. She remembered him as both a great director and the love of her life. Their relationship is still one of Hollywood's quieter but most lasting love stories. It's not based on glitz or fame, but on shared passion, creativity, and the deep link of 2 souls who loved each other and the art they made. Fans all over the world were very sad when the famous actor Carroll O'Connor died in June 2001. He was best known for playing Archie Bunker on All in the Family. His wife Edith Bunker, played by Jean Stapleton, was very patient and loving, but she wasn't at his funeral. This made people curious, and even led to some criticism at the time. But as Stapleton would later say, her absence was not out of boredom or emotional distance, but out of deep respect and personal belief. 8th, for almost 10 years, from 1971 to 1979, Jean Stapleton and Carroll O'Connor had one of the most stable relationships in TV history. As Archie and Edith Bunker, they had great chemistry on screen, which made All in the Family a cultural hit and changed what a TV comedy could be. They looked at race, gender, class, and family problems with humor and heart, and they made roles that could have easily become caricatures seem real. Off-screen, the 2 had a lot of professional respect and love for each other. O'Connor once called Stapleton the heart and soul of their groundbreaking show, and said that she was a great actor and a guy with a lot of deep thoughts. Many people thought that Stapleton would be in the front row at O'Connor's funeral, standing with his family and close co-workers to pay their respects. But when she didn't show up, there were a lot of questions. Was there a split between them? Was their friendship less strong now that the show is over? Stapleton, who was always kind and thoughtful, responded to the rumor in a calm and clear way. She said in a later interview, "I loved Carroll very much. However, Archie and Edith put me in touch with him. Those 2 people lived their own lives, a life that was only theirs. That was the beginning and end of our trip together for me. I didn't want that to get in the way of the fact that he had died." For Stapleton, her relationship with O'Connor was deeply artistic. It was based on their work, their skill, and the made-up marriage that had millions of people hooked. She thought that going to his funeral would have meant crossing the line between art and real life, which was something she always tried to avoid. She said, "When we were done with All in the Family, I said goodbye to Edith Bunker and Archie as well. There was an end to the story. I wanted to stick to that rule." Her words show that she is a woman with strong morals and deep reflection. Jean Stapleton wasn't cold or apart. She was just a very private person who looked at her work through the lens of art and religion. For her, O'Connor's death wasn't something that had to be talked about in public. "I did what I thought was right," she said softly. "I said goodbye in my heart, After the fact, Stapleton's friends said that she had prayed and lit lights for O'Connor on the day of the funeral. Deeply spiritual but not in the usual way, she had always been known by those who knew her well. She thought about life, death, and leaving a memory in terms of something bigger than the present moment. She knew that art could be a memorial in and of itself. In a way, the laughs and tears that Archie and Edith brought to American living rooms were already her way of honoring O'Connor's memory. Many of O'Connor's fans came to understand and accept her reasoning after hearing it. After all, their relationship on TV was forever sealed. Every time they watched All in the Family again, it reminded them of how smart they both were. They showed love, frustration, and fun that will never go out of style. The work Carroll does speaks for itself. Someone once told Stapleton, "We gave people something that still makes them laugh and think." That's the best compliment either of us could ask for. As Stapleton got older and thought back on her long career, she often spoke warmly and gratefully of O'Connor. She often talked about how happy she was to have been a part of something that changed American TV forever, and said that he helped take comedy to a whole new level. Even though she didn't go to his funeral, she still loved him very much. "He was my partner in the truest sense," she stated. "He helped me become a better actor, and the two of us did something we couldn't have done on our own." Some people were confused at first when Jean Stapleton said she wouldn't be going to Carroll O'Connor's funeral, but it was actually the choice of a thoughtful artist who knew how important it was to keep personal and creative limits. Her choice showed that she deeply understood how private sadness can be, and that showing love and respect doesn't always have to be done in public. In her own quiet, proper way, Jean Stapleton remembered not only the actor who played Archie Bunker, but also the person who helped her make Edith Bunker come to life. Around the world, on May 31, 2013, Jean Stapleton, one of the most loved characters on TV, died quietly at her apartment in Manhattan. She was 90 years old. Fans loved her for decades as the sweet, kind, and memorable Edith Bunker on All in the Family. When she died, an era came to an end. Not only did the world lose a talented actor, but also a woman whose kindness, grace, and quiet dignity touched many. People still admired her for how humble she was, and how she refused to let fame change her, even in her later years.